Yeah, hello everyone. Good morning and good evening. So this is the very first class. So last two classes we have actually discussed about, what is the course content of Angular and what projects we're going to develop. And last class we have discussed about software installation. So I hope you all done with the software installation. Okay, fine. So today we're going to start with the very first module of this course that's called TypeScript. So let me start with TypeScript. Okay, fine. Uh, what is TypeScript? So TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. So it is something next level of your JavaScript programming language. Okay. Before we actually start TypeScript, we need to understand some history about Angular. Okay. So why we are learning Angular, and some people also already know that there is something another framework called Angular JS. Okay, so why Angular? The Google people has introduced the Angular JS to the market, and later they completely reinvent a new framework called Angular. So that is made on TypeScript. So why they have taken that much extreme step to make a new framework to build on TypeScript? So we'll discuss some of the limitations also of JavaScript. So first let's start with some kind of history. Okay. So history will be like this. Actually, in the around the year 2011, Google people introduced there is one framework called Angular JS. Okay, the very first framework introduced by Google as Angular JS. So Angular JS is a framework just like React JS and Vue JS and Angular. So this is given to develop the client-side applications. Even Angular is for client-side application. So Angular JS also for client-side applications. So Angular JS is built on the language called JavaScript. Okay, is built on the language called JavaScript. And once it is started, it's become, it's very popular, and within a span of just 2 to 3 years, just every company of UI development or the front end, the client side development, they adopt the framework called AngularJS. It's become very much popular. Okay, but after some days, the Google people, the Angular developers, has thought like there are some limitations with AngularJS. Okay, there are some limitations with AngularJS. So what type of limitations is actually the JavaScript language itself is the simplest programming language. There are no strict rules. Um, while defining the variable or while defining a function. Okay, so there is no strict rules. It's very uh, friendly language and easy language. But due to those features, the easy features, JavaScript has, to develop a complex application, so JavaScript may not support. Okay, so as a developer you should be concentrate on very much cautious to develop certain complex application, because Angular JS has come to the picture. uh, you can close your video. Okay, oh fine. See, why this Angular JS has come to the picture is to simplify the complex, uh, to simplify the application development at client side, because client side development is becoming complex. So to simplify that, Angular JS has come. But to develop such type of complex applications, JavaScript has certain limitations. Okay, so then in the year 2016, same Google people has introduced another um, framework called Angular. Okay, so slight difference between these two. This is Angular JS and this is Angular. So this runs on JavaScript and this Angular runs on TypeScript. Okay, and the versions of Angular JS will be like 1.1 and 1.2 like that. So I think current version will be 1.9 around. So every version of Angular JS will be 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 like that. Just one. Okay, but what is this Angular is? They have given a version called 2. Okay, in the initial version of Angular will be 2. And how this versioning system will be is 3 actually not release, 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on up to now current version is 10. Okay, so this is released in the very recent July 2020. This version has released is Angular 10. And also please don't think like sir 1.9 and 10, so 10 is very big number when compared to 1.9. Okay, so don't this compare like that. 1.10 you assume, because Angular JS versions are only one dot something. Okay, Angular versions will be just this type of numbering system. Okay, just to easily understand, is that Angular JS or Angular? Okay, so this Angular has completely reinvent as a complete new framework made on TypeScript. It means you have to write a TypeScript language code to build any Angular application. And the current version of Angular is 10, and that is released in the July 2020. Okay, and still Angular JS development is also happening, but what Google people has confirmed is hardly by next to 2 years. Okay, hardly by next 2 years they stop the complete development of AngularJS. Okay, there is no support from Google people if you face any issues in AngularJS application. Okay, so this is quite outdated and this will be the current version, and whoever is talking about Angular, that will be Angular. Okay, it's not AngularJS. Okay, fine. So now we got some clarity about what is this AngularJS and Angular. But one thing is, sir, why they have taken some extreme step to convert the whole framework, because they have invested some lot of amount on developing a framework, right? So why they have taken that much extreme step to uh, create a new framework even though it was very popular? Okay, so they think about the next few years what is the position of the framework. Okay, so they think in that mind and they made a new framework. Okay, let's see. So what are the limitations they face in JavaScript, and what can be, what are the advantages when TypeScript provides? We're gonna see. Okay, so let's start with limitations of JavaScript. Okay, let me talk about the very few limitations of JavaScript. But this looks like a very simple limitation, but this leads to major errors, and it's very hard to debug your JavaScript application if you come across these type of issues. Okay, the very first limitation is in the very basic level of JavaScript programming, that's called variable declaration. Okay, in variable declaration, JavaScript having a major flaw. What is that is, because when JavaScript was introduced in the year 1995, they didn't talk about this much complexity of application we're going to make in JavaScript. They thought very few a simple application we can make in the client side. But uh, what limitations in variable declaration is, see here, in JavaScript, how do you declare a variable? For example, var. So var is of ES5. I'm talking about ES6 onwards, something new version of JavaScript. So let. Okay, so var is up to ES5, and let is from ES6 onwards. So let a constant and all. Okay, so how you declare a variable in JavaScript? Let a is equal to 10, like this. Okay, so you have assigned the value called 10, some number called 10 to the variable a. So this is valid. Okay, so it means you have assigned a number to the variable a. Fine. Next, I say a is equal to something called test. Okay, can you tell me, is it valid or invalid? Tell me in Java language, if you write like this, is it valid? It is invalid. In .NET, if you write like this, it is invalid. If it is C language or C++, it is invalid, because you have declared the variable a and you have assigned a number. So if you declare a variable and assign the value called number, so immediately in the next line, the same variable I'm assigning the value called uh, some string, some different data type. It is of number data type and I'm saying some string data type. So it is completely invalid in any object oriented programming language, even C++, Java and .NET. But you know what? In JavaScript, it is perfectly valid. It won't ask you any question at all. Okay, it is happily, it is valid. Okay, for example, the next line for some assume my JavaScript program contains some 1,000 lines. Okay, so in that 1,000 lines, in some point of time, I assign some string test to the same variable a. In some point of time, I assign some value called true. Okay, it's complete Boolean value. I can still assign. So you know what? This is also perfectly valid, and I can assign an object. This is also, this is also perfectly valid. I assign a function, it's still valid. I assign some null, it's still valid. So now you understand the problem with JavaScript. It's not a problem. They wanted to make it simple, so they have assigned in that way. But if you develop any complex application, client-side application development with these type of scenario, if you keep assigning some different values to the same variable, so one fine day you never know what is the type of A. Okay, so at one point of time you never know what is the type of A. If it is a stringer, string methods will be different. So how to convert the variable, I mean string is different, number functions are different, object functions are different, and function how to call is different. So if you are not sure that what type of data it belongs to, so it's very hard to fix the problems. Okay, fix the bugs in the application. So this looks very simple, but it's very bigger limitation of JavaScript. Okay, so this limitation has simplified in TypeScript. You know what, why that they have given the name called TypeScript is type. Okay, same like JavaScript is a TypeScript. So what is this type? Type is a sense data type. Data type. Okay, so type is a sense data type. So in TypeScript, we can assign a variable like that, but we can strictly type. So TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript, and it is strictly typed language just like Java, .NET, and C++. It means you must have to mention what type of variable it is. For example, in TypeScript, how you declare a variable is a of type number. Okay, so this is what the type of small syntaxical sugar added to the regular JavaScript way of declaration. So a is a variable name. You can say let. Okay, so let a of type number is equal to 10. So we strictly define some type to the variable, and everywhere, even functions, variables, methods, objects, everywhere we will mention the type. Okay, so if you mention a is of type number, so it is strictly number. And if you're trying to assign some stringer, it will never ever going to accept. Okay, if you assign some true or object or function, it is not going to accept any of these values. It only accepts the number. Okay, it can be this number or some other number. It only accepts the number. So we are defining some type safety for your program. So if you have given some strict rules like this, your application will works pretty well. Okay, you can develop even the complex applications in this type of scenario just like Java also, right? This is one limitation, and the second limitation is in the functions. Also there is a small flaw in JavaScript. Okay, so let's see. In function declaration also, there's a small flaw. Let's take a simple function. Okay, so I say let greet is equal to one function. Okay, I am just taking a function expression. You have some function. Okay, so this greet function will take two parameters. One is the name and the age. Okay, so I have just declared a function greet which takes in two parameters, name and age. It does some logic. Okay, so how you call a function generally? Greet. Okay, if this is looking for name and age, so I can provide uh, something called, you know, Rajan, some name, or let's take John, and around some 40 years. So you can call a function like this. Okay, so name will be John and age will be 40. It's happily, it executes. It's perfectly valid in JavaScript. So this function call is perfectly valid. Yes, fine. But same in JavaScript, I can also write greet observe closely. Now at this point of time you understand what is the benefit of TypeScript over JavaScript. Okay, so I can also call this function only providing the John. See, I'm not providing the extra parameter called 40. I'm only providing the John. But the function is declared with two parameters. One is John and age, but I only provided John. Can you tell me, is it valid or invalid? You know, in JavaScript, it is valid. It's perfectly valid because in JavaScript, there is no question of declaring what type of, what is the data type for each parameter. Okay, so we never declare name is of what type and age is of what type. And there is no strict rule. All are optional parameters in JavaScript. If it is an optional parameter, if you don't provide also, it's perfectly valid. Sir, if it is valid, then what could be the age value? If you know something about JavaScript, age value will be undefined. If you don't provide, age value will be undefined. Okay, at least it is perfectly valid. It won't throw you any error. Next, suppose if I pass I just provide only 40. This is also perfectly valid in JavaScript. Okay, and also this 40 can be assigned not to the age, to the name, because it starts from uh, the same order it assigned to the properties. Okay, so first only one you pass, first one is 40. So first one name assigned with the value called 40 is, it leads to pretty bigger errors. Okay, I can also call greeter without passing anything. Okay, it still accept two parameters, but I'm not passing anything, but still it is perfectly valid in JavaScript. So now at this point of time you understand, sir, if it is taking this different type of parameters, so at the end of the day, how a developer knows that what could be the parameter can pass to the function. So that's the bigger biggest question. Okay, and and this leads to a lot of errors if you're writing a plain JavaScript program in this way. So generally, what JavaScript people used to do is they should be very cautious. What is the parameter already declared, and they must have to call with the same thing. Okay, so they only the developer will be very cautious to do that. But you know, generally application means one developer will write some code and some other developer will continue the code. Okay, so we don't know how many people will involve in the project and how many uh, different versions will come. So everybody can change the code, correct? So it should be understandable by everybody. So in this case, this is the flaw. Okay, so now you understand why what is this JavaScript is. So JavaScript actually made for a simplest programming language in the world. Okay, but this, due to that simplicity, if you want to develop some complex application, that leads to these type of errors. So to resolve these type of errors, we got a new language called TypeScript. So to resolve these type of errors, we have another language called TypeScript. So this will solve all these problems. And one very important note you have to understand is, okay, at this point of time, you understand JavaScript is nothing, only TypeScript is the master. Okay, so at this point of time, you understand JavaScript is nothing, it's having full lot of errors. So that's why we have to use TypeScript. So there is nothing in JavaScript. You know what? I can also say a very important note is, yes, of course, TypeScript will solve all the problems of JavaScript, but still never ever underestimate the power of JavaScript. I repeat, but still, okay, TypeScript solve all the problems of JavaScript, but still, and also one more limitation is, it's not limitation. There is no support, complete support of OOPS. Okay, so no completely implemented OOPS programming language JavaScript, but TypeScript is complete OOPS programming language. You can write interfaces, constructors, polymorphism, encapsulation in all the concepts. Okay, and yeah, so TypeScript solves all the problems of JavaScript, but still never ever underestimate the power of JavaScript. I tell you why. You know, see, very important. Actually, what are we learning now? Angular. Actually, our concept is Angular, right? So why Angular has come? What's the purpose of Angular? Angular has come to the market to develop client side application development. Okay, so Angular framework has come to the picture to do some application development at client side. So client side is a sense what? Client means what? Your browser. Your browser. Okay, you know, a browser internally contains what? A JavaScript engine. See, browser contains a JavaScript engine. Browser does not contains TypeScript engine. It means if you want to run any application, if you want to run any application on the client side's browser, okay, and if you want to run any application on the client's browser, it must be a JavaScript language. It's not a Java, it's not TypeScript, it's not .NET, it's not C language. You can't run C language on browser. So browser supports only one language, that is called JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript is having certain limitation. That's why we are using TypeScript. But the problem is TypeScript cannot directly understandable by the browser. If TypeScript cannot understand by the browser, then how can you develop a client-side application on the browser? That is the biggest question. I repeat. See, JavaScript, see, browser can only understand a programming language called JavaScript. Okay, if you write a JavaScript program, then only browser will understand, because Java browser contains internally JavaScript engine. So this will convey the information to the browser to display some data. So to make anything dynamic on the screen, browser screen, you need to write, it should be JavaScript. But JavaScript having some limitations, so that's why we are learning TypeScript. But problem is TypeScript cannot directly understandable. See, keep note of this. TypeScript cannot directly understandable by browser. So what is the thing is, I I tell you, you need to write. I mean, to avoid these type of issues, to avoid these type of issues, to avoid this type of issues, we have to write TypeScript programming language only. Okay, but my browser cannot understand, because ultimate goal is browser only. Na? If you write Angular program also, client side means browser only. Ultimately you have to execute the program in the browser, but browser cannot directly understand your TypeScript. So in between, some mediator should be there. What is the mediator? Is your JavaScript only. Okay, so what is the benefit of writing TypeScript is, generally in TypeScript we will write the complete strictly typed programming language to avoid all this necessary errors. For avoid all these errors, we will write strictly typed programming language, that's called dot ts file will write. Okay, we're going to write dot ts file, and this dot ts file we must have to convert to another file, that's called .js. Okay, and this .js will works on the browser. Okay, so previously we used to write directly .js file and we used to run in the browser, but .js is having certain limitations like this, and it's not suitable to develop a complex application because it's having a lot of limitations. To avoid that, we are using TypeScript programming language, that's called .ts file. But problem is .ts file cannot execute on the browser directly, so that's why we have to convert .ts file to .js file, and then that .js file will run in the browser. Okay, you may ask the question, sir, every time we have to write TypeScript file and convert to .js file? Actually, not required. If you are writing an Angular program, so Angular is built completely on TypeScript. Okay, you can see everywhere .ts file, you never see a .js file. Okay, so if you write an Angular program, so that program full of TypeScript file only, and the this Angular framework is internally contains certain libraries. So those libraries will take care about converting your TypeScript program to JavaScript and runs on the browser. So this conversion process running on the browser and live reload, everything will take care by the Angular. Okay, as a developer, as an Angular developer, only you have to concentrate on how to write a TypeScript implementation for your logic. Okay, so Angular will take care to take up this TypeScript file and convert to the specific version of JavaScript and makes it runs on the browser. So you don't bother what is the JavaScript created and what is the JavaScript which is running on the browser. We only concentrate how to write a TypeScript program to fulfill all the client's requirements and execute with Angular. Okay, but still, before we starts with Angular, we are only concentrating on TypeScript because first we learn what is TypeScript and what is the difference between JavaScript language and TypeScript. So if you are not using Angular, then who will convert? See, if you are actually using Angular, then Angular itself will convert to JavaScript. But first, we are not starting directly with Angular. We are starting first TypeScript. We'll cover all the concepts of TypeScript, and then we will move on to the Angular. Sir, if you're moving then to the Angular, then while learning TypeScript, how can you see the output? Is it is our responsibility to convert the TypeScript language to JavaScript. Okay, fine. So this conversion process, the .ts file to .js file, this conversion process is called as transpilation. Okay, so transpilation is a combination of two things. Transpilation is equal to transform plus compilation. Transform plus compilation. It means your .ts file will be compiled to some other programming language. That's a transformation. One programming language to another programming language is a transformation, but it will get compiled to that. Okay, so transform plus compilation is transpilation. Okay, so this process we have to do now. But once you start with Angular will take care and you don't need to do this. We only concentrate on how to write a TypeScript file to support this Angular features. Okay, so now we understand JavaScript is having certain limitations. So to avoid the limitations, we have a TypeScript language, but browser cannot understand the JavaScript programming language directly. Browser cannot understand the TypeScript programming language directly. So that's why, because ultimate goal is to develop, to deploy, to see the output of the application in the browser. Okay, so for that we have to write a TypeScript to avoid these type of errors, and to run on the browser we must have to convert that to JavaScript. Okay, fine. So now we understand the limitations and advantages of TypeScript. So now let's start with the installation of TypeScript, and we'll start with a very basic concepts of TypeScript, how to write a program and how to convert this to JavaScript file and all we'll see. Okay, so first of all, let me show you the TypeScript. So TypeScript programming language. So some information about TypeScript. So TypeScript programming language, is having a name. Okay, it's having some keyword. What is that? It is a typed superset of JavaScript. Okay, so now we understand TypeScript means type means data type. So strictly we will specify data type. Even for function also we will specify name is of type string, age is of type number. So you must have to provide the string only and you must have to provide the number only, and all the properties are, all the parameters are uh, you know required. Okay, those are mandatory properties. Okay, we'll talk about them. So TypeScript is a typed superset of JavaScript, something next level of your JavaScript, and this is given by the company called Microsoft. And the current version of TypeScript is 4.0, and this is completely open source. Okay, so TypeScript is open source. Open source means it's a free. Okay, so you don't need to pay anything to work with the TypeScript language. It's completely free. Okay, and this TypeScript can be used in Angular. So before we start with Angular, first we need to know in and out of TypeScript. First, let's see the actual TypeScript website, and then I'll show the installation, and then we'll create a workspace. Okay, first just a walkthrough about website of TypeScript, and then I tell you the installation, and then how to create a workspace, and then how to write a program. Okay, and then how to compile to .js file and how to execute also. Okay, so this process you must know, because every example we do this thing. Okay, only one time we create a workspace, but this we'll do multiple times. Okay, let's see what is the website of TypeScript. Just go to Google TypeScript. Okay, so the official website, there's a logo, as given by, developed and maintained by Microsoft, and stable release 4.0.2, 20th August 20. very recent. Huh? So it was started in the year 2012, 7 years ago. Okay, fine. So file names can be TS and TSX. So TS can be used for Angular, TSX can be used for React.js. Okay, so as of now, we'll write only TS. Okay, so let's start with this one. Yeah, so this is the uh, TypeScript website. Here you can understand what is TypeScript programming language and what it does, some information about it. Okay, and here there is a link called download. So this is the link to download a TypeScript. Okay, and install TypeScript and docs. So docs contains uh, some information like the complete any documentation about TypeScript. So if you want to know any information about TypeScript, you can just go into look into the documentation of TypeScript and you can just understand. See, in the handbook they have given a lot of examples as well, like data types, interfaces, functions, classes, enum, generics, a lot of concepts. Okay, and they also have some advanced concepts like decorators, namespaces, and all. Okay, and handbook, yeah, handbook also give you some kind of tutorial on what is the TypeScript programming language, and there is a community. So there are some online community. It means while writing some TypeScript program, if you face some errors, so you can find this community and you can join there and you can ask some questions and you can get some solutions for your problems, your issues in this community. Okay, and there is something called playground. This playground is a sense you can write online TypeScript. You can write some program online here and you can convert to TypeScript file here itself. Okay, as I said, you can write TypeScript file and you convert to JavaScript, right? So that conversion can be done over here. It's a playground, and there are some extra tools also there, some config reference and some playground. Okay, fine. So this is about TypeScript program website. So let's start with installation of TypeScript and then we'll start with the workspace creation of TypeScript. Okay, exception handling, yes, it is there, it is there. Aman, it's there. Okay, fine. And yeah, installation very simple. We have already done that. So you need to install Node.js first. Okay, before you install TypeScript, you need to have a Node.js. Okay, and once you, Jitin, please draw anything on my screen. Okay, please. Okay, what is this, man? Okay, so you have to install Node.js first, and then you have to install TypeScript. So how to install TypeScript is very simple. npm install -g TypeScript. Okay, this is the command to install a TypeScript. So we have already done that. And after you have done with the installation, you can check the version of it. How to check the version is tsc TypeScript compiler space hyphen hyphen version. Okay, so let me check this because we have already done this in the installation step. So if you are not done, please do this and then you can check the version. Let me check my version. Let me open a fresh command prompt and here I type tsc space hyphen hyphen version, enter. See, I got same 4.0.2. Okay, so in my system TypeScript compiler is installed, so that I can use this TypeScript compiler to convert my TypeScript files to JavaScript file. Okay, so it's a TypeScript compiler. Okay, fine. And then next step is we have to create a workspace because as per our plan about this course, we have around 7 modules. Okay, so we have around 7 modules. In that first module is TypeScript, and then we'll start with Angular fundamentals, Angular NGRX, and then we have backend server side development and all. So all the 7 modules I want to keep in certain location because I don't want to keep different places. So I create a folder called workspace. Okay, for this particular batch, I create a workspace folder. In that, I create a folders like this. Okay, I create a TypeScript folder. In that, I create all TypeScript examples and concepts here. And after that, the same workspace folder, once we start Angular fundamentals, so Angular hyphen fundamentals. That's a program, the folder name. So in that folder, we learn all the concepts like data binding. Okay. So data binding, form handling. So like this. So we're going to make certain folders of it, and then we'll start with ngrx. Okay, so angular hyphen ngrx, and then here we will create certain examples inside. That is called ngrx examples and all. So I want to create a global folder that's called workspace. In that I can create all this files. So now let's start creating a workspace. And one very important thing is, sir, where we gonna create this workspace folder? Can I create this folder somewhere in C drive? If I'm talking about Windows, I strongly recommend never ever create your workspace in C drive, because problem with the C drive is, if you have any issues with your operating system having some issues, so generally what we do, we reinstall a new operating system. Okay, so complete operating system is there on C drive. So if you keep all your source code, this is, this is very hard of your so course. Okay, so all programs will be here. So if you keep in C drive, if you reinstall your operating system, your complete C drive will be vanish and all your source code will vanish. Okay, so I strongly recommend don't keep in C drive. Keep in some secure drives, like you can keep in D drive or E drive, any other place, but keep in mind that don't keep in C drive. It doesn't mean that if you keep in C drive it won't work. It will work, but the problem is, in future you may reinstall a new operating system, so your code will vanish. Okay, so keep in some other place. So I generally create my workspace in my D drive. Okay, I tell you how to create a workspace and how to import that workspace to WebStorm, and then how to work with that. Okay, so let's start. So first let's create a workspace for TypeScript. Uh, Actually, I can write it just a TypeScript program on desktop also, but I don't recommend that, because if you create everything on desktop one finder, you never know which file belongs to what concept. So perfection is required. So workspace first. Okay, so how to create a workspace is very simple. You go to D drive. So I have some workspaces. See, I have a workspace folder. You can create anywhere in the D drive, but I have some other files. So workspace folder, I have different workspaces like YouTube workspace. For YouTube, I used to develop some Bootstrap tutorial and all, right. So for that, okay, and UI online class workspace, right. React JS, this is for morning batch. Okay, and Angular online workspace also there. This is for morning batch. Okay, let's create a new workspace. It means a fresh folder you create. Let's take Angular. What to create? Angular online evening underscore 2020. Okay, so this is my workspace. You can create any name. Okay, so Angular online evening 2020. This is my workspace. In this workspace, what is the module you're discussing about? My module is now TypeScript. So let me create a new folder inside TypeScript. Okay, fine. If you want, you can make a caps TypeScript. Okay, so now I am going to write all the TypeScript examples inside of this folder. This folder. Okay, fine. So where you write a program, you never create a program just like that. Okay, we create a programs using this WebStorm. Okay, so just on your desktop you can find a WebStorm link. Just double click on that. It opens a WebStorm. Fine. Now once you create a workspace like this, Angular evening 2020, inside you have a TypeScript, and just like that, Angular fundamentals and also will come over here. Okay, and then you have to go inside the TypeScript, and here we have to write a program. It means you need to import this particular folder to the WebStorm so that we can write a program. Okay, so let me copy this address. So how to load this folder on my because there is no template or something for TypeScript. Okay, no starter files, we create everything from scratch. Okay, that's why empty folder. So you just copy this folder address and then open WebStorm here. uh, Click on file. Don't worry, this video is getting shared with the people who are already paid. Okay, so from this day onwards it's a paid class, so who are all paid, I'll be sharing this video, so you can just watch the video and you can do it. Okay, Fine. So let me click on a file, open. So there's a link called open, and here you have to paste the URL what you have copied, and it detects the folder location TypeScript, and click on OK. And then shall I open a same window or new window? Yeah, same, this window. Okay. So now what happened? Your this folder, this particular folder, see it come with the some dummy file called .idea. So delete it, just keep it. Just some configuration file for this one, WebStorm. Okay, fine. Now, so this typescript folder has loaded over here, and but still in this there is no extra file. So now once you load any folder to the workspace, and any folder you create inside that folder will be automatically available here, because this is the this is the representation of this folder. For example, see here, nothing is there in this, no folder, just forget about idea, no folder here. How to create is, go here, I create a new folder for basics, because first we start with the very basics about TypeScript. Okay, so here right click, new directory. Okay, directory means folder. Okay, and you can also have HTML and all. Let's create a one folder directory. Let me write some numbering system, because we easily understand what is the first concept, second concept and all. So let's make 01 hyphen ts, stands for TypeScript hyphen basics. So I prefer writing this perfect folder structure names also. Okay, people will give, you know, a folder, ABC folder. Don't do that. Okay, that's not looks such something professional. Okay, so be a professional. So 01 hyphen ts hyphen basics. Okay, so inside TypeScript I create a folder called ts basics. Now you go to that folder. See, you got a folder called ts basics. So every program you create here, it automatically uh, keeps here, because this is your workspace folder. And one more thing, in future if you uninstall WebStorm and you install a new WebStorm, nothing to worry, your source code will be here only. So make sure you don't delete this folder. So this folder contains your complete programs. Even though you uninstall your WebStorm and reinstall it, no issue at all, your source code will be here only. And once you install new WebStorm, you can load this folder to there, and you can see all the folders and files in here. Okay, see, your workspace is here. Fine, and we create a folder, and then let's create one TypeScript, because we're gonna write what? TS file. We're gonna write a TS. Why is that? Yeah, we're gonna write TS file and compile to JS file that runs on the browser. We are not running on the browser. We just use with node command on the command prompt itself will execute. So let's start with the TS file. In this, I create a new TS file. So how to create a TS file is, uh, right click on this. See here, this folder, right click on this, new. Here you can find HTML, style sheet, JavaScript, so TS, TypeScript file. Okay, so right click on this, where you want to create, select this folder, right click, new, TypeScript, not JavaScript, careful, TypeScript. And what is the name of your TypeScript? So just say app. Okay, and make sure you select the first option, not JSX, TypeScript app, enter. So now I got a file called, wait, I just execute this program, and then I'll take up some questions from you. Okay, so app.ts file, and this is your TS file. You can write a program and you can execute a program. Please, can someone can mute yourself? Ashika Reddy, please. Okay, fine. Um, Now let me write some program. What is a program? Very basic, because its name is basic, no? Okay, let's start with let. I'm using S6 syntax. Let something called number, not number. Let's take language, language of type. So colon string is equal to TypeScript, like this. So this is how you declare a variable. Let language of type lowercase string is equal to string. So I have declared this variable of type string, so I can assign only string. If you are going to assign something called number, you get the error. See, it says 100 is not assignable to the type string, strictly typed. Okay, but in JavaScript is perfectly valid, but TypeScript not valid. I can say TypeScript now no error. Can I say object? No, it's error. Okay, cannot assign object. Can I say a function? No, you can't assign a function to it. Okay, and can I say something called true or false, some boolean? No, it's not. If you declare it as a boolean, then happily accepts. Okay, so I need to be a string, and my thing is TypeScript. Okay, and then let me say a basic console.log of language. Okay, console.log of language. Okay, fine. So you written a TypeScript. So how to execute, bro? Please mute. No. Okay, fine. How to execute this, sir? How can I see the output of console log? Is you have to convert. I tell you now. See here. Now let's start with TypeScript. So you written a .ts file. So you have to write .ts file, and this .ts file you have to convert to .js file, and then you have to execute it. Okay, fine. So how to convert a .ts file to .js file is a process of compilation. So it means you have to write a command in the command prompt tsc space your file name .ts. Okay, tsc is a TypeScript compiler, so which will compile your ts file, and then it generates a .js file with the same name. Suppose if you write app.ts, okay, program, so this will convert app.js, and this JS file you execute either on the browser or you execute on the node environment. So your choice. Okay. So now let's run this tsc space app.js. Sir, where we run? Because my program is there in D drive, Angular, online, TypeScript, basics, app.js. Okay. If you want to open a command prompt, actually this is the external command prompt. Just like that, in your WebStorm also there is an integrated terminal, this kind of command prompt. So how to open that is you can just select this file, right click. Here you can find something called open in terminal. Okay, so this folder location can be opened in a terminal. Now check, one terminal has opened exactly the same location. Okay, so now see there is only ts file, there is no js file, only one file called ts. Now how to compile this command is tsc space app.ts, so this will convert to app.js. How to write tsc space app.ts and then press enter. Okay, now it is compiling. Yeah, it's compiled successful because you don't get any error, so it's compiled successful. And once you compile successful, what is the thing? It will generate a .js file in the same location. So if it is app.ts, it generates app.js only. Okay, if it is some name, the same name js file will come. Sir, what is that? Go back here, expand your folder, expand this. See, you got js file. You write actually ts file, you got js file. And also, this is what TypeScript syntax. What is JS syntax? When I open JS, see, they use a var keyword, language, no strictly typed, but only TypeScript like this. Okay, so you write this language code and that converted to this language code. Okay, and but I'm just showing how it is generated, but in future you don't need to bother what is generated by the this compiler. Okay, we don't bother because we already understand JavaScript having a lot of limitations. So to avoid that limitations, to make a perfect programming, we write strictly typing and we don't bother what is the JS file generated. Okay, and once we start with Angular, we never ever see the JS file also. Okay, we only see the TypeScript files. Okay, fine. And next, yeah, sir, JavaScript file generated, then how to execute? How can I see the program output? Is You can execute on the browser, but if you want to execute on the browser, you need to have a HTML. I don't want that. I can execute on the node. How to execute on the node is command is node space app.js. Okay, remember app dot see here. This is for compilation and this is for execution. Okay, so tsc app.ts for compilation and then node space the same name .js is for execution. So how to execute the program? We write what? Console log. So let's say node space because we already installed node.js. So app.js enter. See, we got the answer is TypeScript. That's it. And also please remember, some people will make a mistakes. What mistake, people will compile JS file, execute TS file. That's a wrong. Okay. I repeat, TSC can use only for TS file. Node can only use for JS file, but never use TSC for JS and Node for TS. Sir, what's the problem? See, I said Node TSC space app.js. So TypeScript compiler cannot convert JavaScript anywhere, right? You get the error. Let's check. Come on. One minute, almost done. Okay, so you can't convert. Okay, fine. And so I can say node space app dot ts. Still you get the error because there is nothing in node. You can't execute a typescript because it doesn't know how what is this colon string is only available in typescript. So write typescript file, compile to JavaScript, and then execute. And don't worry, instead of every time you have to compile the program, there is an automated step. If you have configured that, no need to compile, you can directly execute a program. Okay, so that automatic compilation configuration I tell you. Okay, so as of now, node space app.js, enter, you get this TypeScript. That's it. That's how you create a workspace and a concept, and next concept and all we create a folders. Okay, fine. Um, yeah, enough for this today's session. I know I went bit faster. Okay, I understood. Okay, don't worry. From tomorrow onwards, once the programming starts, we'll go a bit slower. Okay, and as I said, daily class will be 2 hours. Sir, why Navin sir stop the class for 1 hour only? Is there are some more people. Only half of the people are paid. In this 50 people, half people paid, so half are still need to pay. So I don't want them to miss the concept. Okay, so just I just make it this 1 or 2 days only for 1 hour, 1.5 hour, just like that. Okay, so today 1 hour, tomorrow 1.5 hour, and then next 1 hour 15 minutes. Sorry, 45 minutes, and then next day onwards 2 hours. Okay, so just to make a comfortable with our class daily. Okay, fine. And if you want need this notes, let me copy this. I create in this folder. I create one file extra. Okay, I have notes properly, but I'm just giving this notes as well. Notes.txt and paste. Okay, fine. One more thing is, yeah, I'll tell you something and then I'll take up some questions if you have. Okay, so after this we'll have a question and answers round. Okay, because newly people joined, so for that one. Okay, what's my suggestion is while attending this class, you do one thing. Along with this, some people try to code along with me. Okay, because while the people who are watching my this live coding, people also try in their system immediately, and then they'll ask the question immediately, sir, I'm not getting the output. See, I strongly say don't practice just in the video. Okay, it means if you join the live meeting now, okay, in the live meeting please don't code. Okay, if you're coding along with me in the live meeting, what is the problem you face is, suppose if I'm typing something, you feel like, okay, I know this, and you will type in your system something, but in meanwhile by the time you're typing something and I have told some other concept, so you miss the concept. Okay, that I think you understood. Okay, so never ever code while doing the live session. Sir, what we have to do then is, while live session is going on, just watch what I'm doing. And if you have extra, like just take some running notes, okay, in front of you, and any point you feel like important and something you want to remember, okay, so you can note down. And any doubts you have, any questions you have, you can just note down. Okay, just maintain some running notes by watching, just watch like a movie and just take up some running notes. Okay, anyway, after this meeting has finished, I will be sharing this complete recorded video and all the programs what I have written. Everything will be get to your email id, or I can keep in the drive and I'll give you the direct access to the drive. So directly after the meeting is finished, because a daily meeting is just for 2 hours, right? But remaining 22 hours are there to practice. Okay, so just don't be hurry. Okay, just in the live session, just only concentrate what I'm doing and just get the concept. And once you know the concept, not this program, you can do any kind of program. Okay, so after the meeting, you will get the video. So just watch, rewind the video, and how much faster you want, slower you want, you can just pause wherever you want, and you can just go through how you understand the concept, just repeat it. Okay, and if you have any questions later while you're practicing, we have a Telegram group. We have a Telegram group, so you can just join there. I have shared already Telegram group in the payment link I have given. So below my signature, there's a last line we can find a Telegram group. Okay, you can just check in my payments mail. In my below my name, you have GitHub link, YouTube link, like that. Telegram group link also there. You just click on that group link from your mobile, and you can join to the group. Okay, and there you can ask some questions. So a lot of students are there already. What are the question you have, you can post it. Or if you still not get a solution, if you meet the next class live, you can ask a question. Okay, that's how you have to learn the process. Okay, I hope this makes clear. And now I will unmute everyone. Okay, if you have still any questions, you can ask me now in live. Okay, so let me unmute everyone. Okay, or else you can do one thing, I'll give access to everyone. Okay, I'll give access. I have given access for unmute for everyone. Okay, if you want to talk to me, you can unmute yourself and talk to me. And once it is done, please mute it. Okay, so your time starts now. Okay, okay. Anybody, anyone, any kind of question regarding course, project, duration, payment, anything you can ask me. Okay. Some people as chart, maybe they afraid of talking to me. Don't worry, man. I'm very jovial. You can ask me any question anytime. Okay.
హలో నవీన్ సార్.
Yeah, Rajkumar, tell me.
హలో సార్ నవీన్ సార్, మీరు వాడుతున్న వెబ్ స్టోమ్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ 2020 వర్షన్ క్రాకింగ్ సార్, లేకపోతే 2019 వర్షన్ క్రాకింగ్?
ఏది
మీరు
మీరు ఇన్స్టాల్
వాడుతున్న వెబ్
చేసింది?
స్టోమ్.
నేను వాడుతుందా? 19 అది.
నువ్వు వాడుతుంది 19 సార్.
19 అది. 20 కూడా
అదే
క్రాకింగ్
సార్.
ఉంది, ఇస్తా. లేదు 20 కూడా క్రాకింగ్ ఉంది, నేను ఇస్తా.
అదే సార్,
నేను లింక్
2019 క్రాక్ అయింది సార్, కాకపోతే 2020
కాదు, ఎందుకంటే 2020 దానికి క్రాకింగ్ లైసెన్స్ కి వేరే ఉంటుంది.
అవును సార్,
సింపుల్ కదా,
ట్రై
ఇప్పుడు నువ్వు విండోస్ 8 కి తీసుకెళ్లి విండోస్ 10 లేస్తే పనిచేయదు కదా, అట్లనే అది
అవును
కూడా.
సార్, అవును సార్, అవును సార్.
అది నేను షేర్ చేస్తాను లింక్, అది వేరే ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే, సారీ వి వర్ టాకింగ్ తెలుగు. ఓకే, యా, ఎనీబడి, ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్? What about RxJS? Yeah, it will cover. Anita, RxJS, it will be covered. I think you didn't attend the yesterday's demo class. You can find my demo class. Yeah, I tell you one more thing. Wait. I'll take some questions. Those who joined lately or those who not attend my demo, I kept last two classes. Actually, this is third class. Okay, third class means programmatically first class only, but first two classes is one is demo and second one is installation. So you can see those two classes, because I usually keep in YouTube because some people will join lately. So first day, second day I kept in YouTube, and next day is this one. Okay, if you go to YouTube and just type my name, okay, very popular. Okay, I just click on this. This is my channel. In this, see here, you just click on videos. Okay, here you can find two videos. Okay, the first one. So this is the first day, day one demo class. Okay, and second day software installation. Third day is current one. Okay, and as I said, this one free, and from today onwards it is paid. And this video is getting recorded, okay, and this video will be shared with the people who has paid, okay, and this video cannot be uploaded to YouTube as of now, okay. And who once you pay, don't worry, if you pay 2 days later or 3 days later, once you pay, then only you get all the videos, okay. But you can attend the live session for 1 week. Okay, actually the same link you can use it for up to Thursday, I hope. So up to Thursday without pay also you can attend the live sessions, but you won't be getting the recordings. Okay, so until you pay. And after this on Thursday, from Thursday onwards, I think from Friday onwards, I'll change the meeting link, and that meeting link can only share with the paid people. Okay, so up to Thursday, you can attend the live sessions without paying also. Okay, for paid and unpaid, up to Thursday allowed. But for paid people, you get the recordings. Anyway, today nothing much we have done, but tomorrow we start the projects. Programming. So those video can be shared with the paid people. Okay, from Friday, only paid people can join and only paid people can access. Okay, I think that makes clear. Fine, and now I can take
Naveen,
some questions. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Naveen
Yeah, sir.
Venkatesh
I
here.
have a question like,
One person.
Naveen, this is Mahesh.
Mahesh, yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I installed Node.js, okay, and
Okay,
then I installed TypeScript, and then
okay,
I checked the TypeScript version. It's showing
okay.
1.0.3.0, not 4.0.2. It's showing 1.0.3.0. Why
One.
this? One.
Okay, do one thing. Actually, you have to type this command.
I already type, and then it's saying TypeScript 4.0.2 updated one package, and then when I check the version, it's showing 1.0.3.0, not 4.
Okay, okay. How you check? You check the same like this one, you know?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. I think I have to check.
Mm,
But it's supposed to install, because when you hit this command, right, it's supposed to install the updated current version only.
okay.
But I'm not sure.
Let me check one more time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
please.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
hi, hello.
Who's this?
This is Satiraj.
Satyaraj. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I have a question like, what is the difference between this some JavaScript and all they're upgrading, right? ECMA, ECMAScript 5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now it's launched in 2020, right? So what is the feature and why in JavaScript wise will it be similar like that or
Actually, some of the JavaScript features, I mean, almost all JavaScript features you can also use in TypeScript. But see, for example, let and constant keyword introduced in the ES6 version. Okay, let and constant. But we are using the same thing in TypeScript as well. Okay, let. Just like that, and you can also use the callbacks, promises, okay, arrow functions. You can also use it, but along with those features, I want to add some type safety, and also I want to apply some object oriented programming approach. For that we use TypeScript. Internally we can use all the JavaScript features as well. Okay, along with that, plus, because it's a superset of JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript plus typing, I mean strictly typed, plus object oriented will be TypeScript. So of course, don't worry, you can also use all the features of JavaScript here.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Hello,
Chetan.
sir.
Chetan, tell
Yes,
me.
sir. Sir, I'm already having Node.js. How to update it?
You already having Node.js, huh?
Yes, sir.
Do one thing. You can only update the npm, but Node.js cannot be updated. Do one thing. You can just go to control panel, uninstall, and install again, fresh version.
Okay, sir. And what about Angular, sir? I'm having
Angular
8.3 or something.
8.3, huh? Okay, Angular you can update from command prompt itself. That is ng update at angular/cli, like this. Ng update angular/cli,
Hmm.
because this doesn't have any installation. You
Hyphen
can
hyphen next. What is the hyphen next, sir?
where
Ng update at Angular/CLI hyphen next.
hyphen mixa.
Next.
Next, okay. Maybe if the future versions of Angular CLI.
Okay, sir.
Don't worry, if you enter this one, current version will come. I think it's 10.1
Okay.
something is there, that will come.
Yes,
Try
sir.
this.
10.1 came.
Yeah, try this one.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Any question? Yeah, Saroj.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, regarding projects, sir, how many projects will you complete?
We covered two projects. One is e-commerce application. So that e-commerce application, we are using NGRX for state management, and we also have a Node Express and MongoDB in the backend. And we also have a credit card payment using Stripe or PayPal. It's complete. Every concept of Angular, what we have learned, everything will be covered over there. And that's the first project. And second project will be profile management. It means where you can upload your own content to there. You can upload your profile picture, your work experience, your education, and you can also have some kind of forum. Forum means just like Stack Overflow. You can raise a question, you can comment on it, you can also give some comments for that. So just like the complete profile management application is one. Okay, so
Uh,
both are two different projects, live projects, and every projects, and not even just every project, every concept, every program, you can find live. So I'll be coding each and every line, and no copy paste kind of. Okay, every
okay, sir.
line I'll copy paste, and every line I explain. But benefit of joining live is if you join live, every line you can ask me the question. Okay, if you have any doubts.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
but if you miss, and even if you miss any of the class also, no issue, because as soon as whoever all paid, I take them as a subscription for this batch. And if you join or not join, I don't care. I just directly share the recorded video on daily basis to your email ID. Okay, you can,
Yes, sir.
whenever you're free, you can download and you can practice. But if you join the live session, benefit is you can ask me the questions live. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And can I, sir, show it for like experienced person?
Yeah, you can. You can. Actually, this course, once you finish, you can claim 3+ experience on Angular.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yep.
Naveen sir.
Naveen Satya, yeah.
Raghavendra?
Satya.
Satya. Okay, Satya Priya, tell me.
Hey, Naveen, is it possible to change the time almost half an hour?
Timer.
Yeah.
Actually, once the batch is started, we can't change the time. Okay, so
Actually, 6
time
to
is
7 I'm free.
actually any problem in timing?
Yeah, actually I'm working and from 7 we had the client meeting actually. So 6
Okay,
to 7.
actually, no problem. You can join from 7 to 8, but in between 6 to 7, what happened? Anyway, after 8:30 around, exactly 8:30 around the evening, you will receive the file, right? Video file and text file. So I hope with that you can learn it. Okay.
Yeah, but if suppose we have any question, I have
Yeah, if you
post.
have any question next day class, you can ask me. Or else we have a Telegram group, I said, right? So here you can, if you have any question, you can take a photograph and you can share in the group, saying that so and so issue I'm facing. There are many people, I think around some 300+ students are there. So they will reply. If no one reply, I will reply. Okay. And even if I don't know, I will search in Google and reply. So that's not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can.
Is it possible to make it 6:30 to 8:30?
6:30 to 8:30, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I have
It's
a plan of yeah, Venkatesh, good, but
yeah.
I have a plan of taking another class by around 8 o'clock. Okay, 8 to 10 I have. If I make it 6:30 to 8:30, I need to start from 8:30 to 10:30. Okay, it'll
Sir,
be late night.
sir, planning to morning, sir, 7 to 9 or 7 to 8:30.
Yeah,
We are planning for
morning. Yeah, I tell you, morning I have 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. one batch is there. That is Angular. Okay.
Yeah, sir, when it was started?
It is started around 20 days ago, 25 days ago. And one more that you can't join because it's already in the end of the thing. NGRX is going to start tomorrow. Okay. And next to 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. we have one batch that is React. Okay. In between I have office work. So 6 to 8 only I have one slot, and one more slot I have free, that is 8 p.m. to 10. I'm not sure. It will be Angular or React.
Sir,
I'm not
planning to
decided.
8, sir, planning to 8, 8 a.m. to 10.
Yeah. Actually, 8 to 10 is very good for us.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. This is good for
Okay. Okay, but let's see. I am not decided. Let's see.
Yeah. And one more thing, can you make it 5 days a week?
Yeah. Yes. Correct. I wanted to ask you guys actually on this today. Because many people, because those who are working specially for they people, those people will face the problem because they can finish all the 5 days classes in within just 2 days of Saturday Sunday. So I wanted you to ask, but if everyone says yes, I can take up the class from Monday to Friday itself, and Saturday Sunday will be holiday. So those who miss any classes, so they can finish all those concepts in Saturday Sunday, and Monday fresh day you can continue with the class. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, yes, many people have requested. So now I'm declaring as Monday to Friday only we have class. Saturday Sunday is a holiday. Is that
Yeah,
fine?
that was really great for me. Yeah, other.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Yeah, definitely. Because this is not just only for freshers, it's even for working people. So yeah, I definitely consider. So Monday to Friday only, and Saturday, Sunday we have a holiday. Okay. And I have another plan is from any Saturday or Sunday we can take up some live YouTube live or something. So there I will take up some questions that I talk to you guys personally. Okay, so I have a plan like either Saturday or Sunday I'll take up some fixed time. I'll come on live in YouTube. Okay, so you can ask me any questions regarding React or Angular, anything. Okay, that's planning. So I'll update
Yeah.
regarding that. Okay.
That's
Naveen?
good, but alternate week is better instead of every week.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I will see that. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
హలో
Deepak, tell me.
యా ఇప్పుడు మనం 10 చెప్తున్నారు కదా, మీరు యాంగులర్ 10 అని చెప్తున్నారు కదా. రెస్ట్
అవును.
ఆఫ్ ఇప్పుడు కానీ మనం 3 years ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్, ఇఫ్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు కీప్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఫర్ 3 years or 3+, they will be expecting us to be expert in Angular 6 or some Angular 7, right? So how can we manage that? While going to the interview, they are asking with what
Yes, sir,
versions
yes,
you
sir.
are familiar with.
Okay, so you must say Angular 7 or 8.
Yeah, that's what, right?
You tell him.
Angular
No.
10. Yeah.
You tell him I start with Angular 6, now recently upgrade to Angular 9 or 10.
Okay. What
Okay,
are the
current
major
project
changes?
is Angular 10, you can tell. That's not a problem.
No,
Sir,
no, no.
some,
Actually,
sir, they are asking. Sir, they are
yeah,
asking regarding like version to version, what is the changes and everything they are
Hey,
asking.
exactly,
that's
exactly.
very simple, man. I tell you, actually, they wanted you to know, are you aware of Angular or not? I tell you, simple story. Just go to Angular website, okay? If you go to angular.io, see here. I tell you small differences. See, don't need to ask anyone also. What is the differences? Simply go to Angular website, click on blog. Okay, in the blog, every update will be there. For example, let's talk about, see, Angular version 10 release. They'll give some blog about it. Okay, so June 25, they told that version 10 has now released. You can download now. So what is the major changes they have done is, see, this release that see the span the entire platform including framework. So they have done some changes in Angular material and some CLI. This is smaller than the typical Angular 9. So there is very 4 months after only they release Angular 10. So what changes they made is here only. They made some date range picker. So some extra date range picker of Angular material they have added. Okay, and they have done some changes for common JS imports. Like they have done something inside of the build statement. If you are not strictly writing this ECMAScript kind of rules, you get this type of warnings. Okay, so very few changes, not bigger changes. Okay, and they have update browser version also. So some old browser support they have removed it, and newly these browsers versions only can be supported. Okay, so these browsers only can be supported. So this is very few changes. Actually,
Sir,
the numbers
sir,
like Angular 10 looks like, oh, very huge number. Maybe something happened. Nothing, and even you can find some Udemy courses on YouTube. Udemy, that guy called Max. I
Yes,
think
yes.
everyone knows
yeah,
about
yeah,
this guy.
Yeah,
maximum,
Max.
So
maximum.
he start Angular 2 tutorial. He just not change any content. He just changing every version change 4, 5, 6. Now he made 10. If you see the content is same, but don't follow that because Angular 2 and 10 lot of changes happen.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
So 6 to 10 not much change. 6 to 10 not much change. So last 3 years you can consider this.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, is it possible to mention, like, suppose this is sixth version, this came in sixth version, this came in seventh version at the
If you
time
are
of
having a
training.
file of changes like 5, these are and all the commands that got changed, 6,
Ah,
7,
yes, sir.
8,
Yes.
Ah,
everything you are
yeah,
going
you
to
can.
make, that will be very helpful for interview. Actually,
Exactly.
they are
Okay,
asking in
okay,
interview calls, are you comfortable with which versions? Which versions means
okay,
there we are getting caught up.
okay. Actually,
Yeah.
anytime when you go for the interview, tell him the major version,
Okay.
because every next version your the way of coding is simplified.
Okay.
Angular 6 everything will make manually.
Okay.
Okay, the service
Okay.
and all components and all will make manually. Angular 10 what happen? Just a command. It will make configuration, file creation, setup, everything will come. So you will be in safe side if you give some major version. If you give lower version, it will
Okay.
be a bit complex. Like you have to explain what is the file structure, where and all you configure everything you must know. But
Okay.
current version, no need to do that. And even
But
especially for NGRX, there are directly commands as given. If you just enter the command, it create the store, it create the reducers, actions, everything can come automated. Okay, so safe
Okay.
side, tell him we were using 6 now earlier, but currently upgrade to 10. So he will ask only 10 questions and it will be easy to get in.
So
Okay,
if they are
yes.
asking
easy.
about styling, what we
Yes,
have
sir.
to say, whether we have to go with Bootstrap, we are some expertise in Bootstrap, or we have to say Angular material, we are very comfortable.
Sir, they are
Um,
asking. Yeah, SAS also they are asking, sir. SAS and NCSS.
SAS,
Yeah.
yeah. SAS less we use CSS. SAS less mostly they ask for, because some people use only plain CSS in the client side development. Okay, they use just their own HTML and CSS because they don't want Bootstrap also, because Bootstrap means less customization. Okay, so
Okay.
they want to create their own template, their own theme, so they write plain CSS also. So maybe if they are wanted to write a plain CSS from scratch, so they will looking for some extra knowledge on SAS and less. Okay, you
Okay.
can tell them we were using Bootstrap, or if you are familiar with Angular Material, then you can tell Angular Material. And you can
Okay.
also tell like this. Initially, we were using regular CSS, and then we convert. We have in the next project, because 3+ means minimum 3 projects you will keep, no. So next
Yeah.
project we were using Bootstrap. Currently, we are using Angular Material. So it
Okay.
will be beneficial that you are knowing almost all the frameworks. So he
Oh,
will take first priority to you.
okay.
And
Thank you.
second thing,
Uh,
sir, they are asking for Ionics also. For regarding sometimes they are
Ionica,
asking.
yeah. Don't
Yeah.
worry. In this course, as a bonus, I think I showed in the last slide, Ionic one application will develop. Okay, so at least if you know that configuration, you can only learn it.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
The last question is, can we write the direct TypeScript now? We learned a lot I have gone through the JavaScript videos, as I said.
Okay, okay.
So all those codes, can we use directly in these TypeScript files of Angular?
You can. Actually, my plan is the same story. First, we start with variable declaration, and then data types, and then objects, arrays. So same
Yeah.
flow will follow, but only thing is TypeScript.
Yeah,
You can
TypeScript. Can
easily
we
feel
use
the
directly
difference.
the JavaScript code also in our Angular applications?
Yeah, it is there because it's superset
Mm.
of JavaScript, right? So JavaScript also you can write here. But
Means
problem is
callback
if you write,
functions,
yeah, you can write it.
immediately invoke functions and all. Can we
Yes,
directly write
you
DOM
can.
objects and all?
Yeah, you can. You
Okay.
can write.
Okay. Okay. There, so we don't get any error.
No.
Okay. If we are going for TypeScript means we are more precise about the what we are writing. That
Yeah,
is what
typing.
expect.
Yeah, typing is the most important
Yeah. Types.
to avoid leading errors. And extra is complete object oriented, because in JavaScript interfaces are not came. Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
in TypeScript we have interfaces, and we have complete Java. What is there? Everything is there here.
Yeah.
Polymorphism, encapsulation, like dependence injection. Everything is.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So you
Yes.
can use all of them.
Okay. Okay.
Something extra than JavaScript.
Okay. Fine.
Is,
Thank you,
is
Nanda.
WebStorm free of, I mean,
Sir,
open
you
source
will go
Web
explain the
editor,
handling like that.
WebStorm
editor?
is, yeah, editors you can use any choice. Okay, you can use VS Code or WebStorm or Atom or brackets. So all these are all these are free except WebStorm. Okay, but why I use WebStorm is WebStorm learning wise it'll be very easy because a lot of configuration can done automatically by WebStorm. For example, a small difference between WebStorm and uh, Visual Studio Code is Visual Studio Code free. This is paid. But what is the benefit of paid is because in Angular we'll do a lot of configuration. It means one file will configure, in some other file we'll use it. And while doing this process, we will do some kind of spelling mistake. So there you have configured with some name, and here you're using some other name. So in Visual Studio Code, you won't get any error or any warning. It will show. So as a developer, you have to be very careful in doing it. But WebStorm is such a intelligent. This will find out easily. It will ask, hey, there you have configured with some name, and here you are configuring some other name. Is it the same or different? It will give you a warning. So with that, it is very less chances to make some mistake. So that's the benefit of WebStorm. Okay, and don't worry, this WebStorm is for, 1 month free trial. As I said, once you pay the fee, I'll give the license and you can use it for lifetime.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, how many days will you teach for TypeScript?
TypeScript 4 to 5 days. I think this whole weekend we have TypeScript up to Friday.
Okay, then you will
Okay.
start for
Monday,
Angular.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Saturday, Sunday holiday. So next Monday we are starting Angular. 14th we are starting Angular.
And 45 days, sir, duration.
Sorry?
Duration is 45 days.
No, 50 days because extra project is added. So 50 days, 100 hours.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, exception handling you are going to explain now?
Sorry?
Exception handling?
Yeah, it is there. Exception handling is there.
No, means you are going to explain now.
Yes, explain. I'll explain.
Okay.
It's there. Any question last?
Naveen sir, I have a question.
Vivek, tell me.
Yes, Naveen sir, myself Vivek. Just want to add further to what Deepak has mentioned about JavaScript. That we can type JavaScript in a TS file.
Yeah.
So would that be just a JavaScript in TS file if we happen to use JavaScript, or we can use JavaScript and TypeScript in TypeScript file?
Yeah, we can mix JavaScript and TypeScript in TypeScript file.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
One another question. So what resources would you recommend to brush up our JavaScript skills and TypeScript skills? Like I know you showed the website for TypeScript. So do you recommend to start on that, or do you recommend we brush up some JavaScript skills as well?
Yeah. What I suggest is before you join this TypeScript, right, you need to know the JavaScript knowledge. So you can just brush up the JavaScript knowledge in my this one in my channel. If you go there, if you just click on a playlist, so there you can find some 66 videos on JavaScript. Okay, so here I explained with my live photo. So here you can feel like I'm directly coming to you and explaining. So these videos are enough to brush up JavaScript, because we have done some good examples on callbacks, asynchronous JavaScript, like set interval, object-oriented JavaScript, some real-time usage, promises, ES6 async await, image upload. So a lot of good examples we have discussed, local storage, session storage, stopwatch, everything. So if you can go through this will be beneficial to understand TypeScript. And for TypeScript, don't worry as of now, no need to go to this handbook and all. You can just follow this one. Here we are learning everything about TypeScript. So what we learn TypeScript here, that is enough to start with Angular. Okay, so extra more information you want on TypeScript, so straight away you can go to this TypeScript documentation and you can read about some extra examples and extra concepts.
Right. Okay.
Thank
you very much. Just one more question. These recordings for the paid members,
yes,
how would we receive the access to the Google Drive? I just have
Okay, so those who have paid, I have their email ID. So initially for first 2-3 days, I'll be sending that email with all the drive links. Okay, so every video I'll keep a day 1, day 2 video links and all I'll share. And after everyone has paid, so what I do is I create a fresh folder in my Google Drive, and that folder I given access to everyone. So from there, if you receive the file or not through email ID, doesn't bother. Just open that link, the drive link for yourself, and every file I kept, it will be available in the drive itself. You can download from there.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any question?
I have one question.
Yeah, Rajesh.
Hi. Project 2 will be doing in Angular 2, Angular material, because I saw.
First project on this e-commerce is on Angular plus Bootstrap. Second project profile management on this one Angular material plus NGRX Redux and Angular. Okay, first project on Bootstrap, second project on Angular material, because it'll be easy for you. Like you can keep in resume for more exploration on interview also. Okay.
In this course, actually, Bootstrap is how much knowledge is required? Because since I have
Bootstrap,
only little knowledge in Bootstrap.
little knowledge. Don't worry. I again I go back to my same this one. Okay, if you just type here I made a lot of Bootstrap videos. You can go through that. That is enough actually. See, if you go to same playlist, actually I kept every complete UI technology here. Only React and Angular you can join live. So playlist, if you go there, there is a Bootstrap also. See 40 videos on Bootstrap. So here I explain everything about what is Bootstrap. From day one, I'll tell you. It's like what is Bootstrap and all. Installation onwards to the input groups, spinners, paginations, like forms, vertical navbar, models, like every component, almost 26 components we learn. And then we will also develop some projects like some web applications like websites, travel Yari website, Hippie Mobile's website, dashboard websites, some UI Brains technology website, and one Ultimate Vacations website. This one. So every 5 websites we develop, and live coding you can see here. So I think this is enough to brush up the Bootstrap. Don't worry. While doing Angular also you can do this.
Already I have started that one to see. Actually, my worry is now I have seen in Bootstrap and some HTML, some concepts I don't know. That one having more videos to brush up, it may require some time. Whether I'm thinking I have to complete that one, then join this in next batch, or in same batch I can
See,
join.
if you do you know how to just configure Bootstrap, right?
Yes.
That is enough, because in Bootstrap every component you can copy paste from Bootstrap official website. Doesn't mean that you must know every class name. Hardly Bootstrap contain the class names, right? So it's not like you need to remember all the class names. Actually, that will come while practice. Okay. But if you want to make a form, just go to official documentation, get the form, copy paste, and just add an Angular to it. That's it. So that's how initially you do, and while doing keep on, so it will be familiar to you. So don't waste time on keep just learning complete Bootstrap and go for Angular. That's not proper.
Because I have seen while designing, actually they do call MD, MD3, MD9 based on design. We have to split like that. That concept actually.
Okay. So that concept you want, just watch this one. 26th video grid system. Okay. So this video will enough for making it. Okay. Fine.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Any question?
Yeah, Naveen, Sudhir this side.
Yeah, Sudhir, tell me.
So I was just worrying, like, so you will explain us like how we can connect with various database. So I think like you have mentioned like MongoDB we will use, right?
Yes, correct.
So like how we can connect with different database. Like if somebody gives us the JSON structure, like, and we just need to build the UI, how like project can be set up.
Yeah.
So it will be like beneficial if you explain that way also.
Yeah, actually, in this there is a HTTP client module is there in Angular. So there we will receive the data in this type of format. I think I tell you one JS file. I think I show you something called users. Okay, so you will receive data in this format, like huge content around some this much.
Yeah.
Okay, so this type of data you receive from server side. So the backend people who are developing either Java, .NET, so they must have to convert into JSON and give you, or else they'll give the REST API URL and you can connect from Angular. So definitely we have a separate module actually. I mean, in that fundamentals module only we have a HTTP module to connect it, and we also have routing concepts. So everything will tell you how to connect, and especially while design database thing, I show you how to connect with MongoDB. It means how to create your own table structure, relationships, fetching commands and everything. I tell you with MongoDB. If time is there, we also see how to configure with MySQL also.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
So
fine.
like mostly like there are scenarios uh, like only we need to work on like front end part. So in those scenario, like only the backend people will give this JSON, and we need
Yes.
to configure it.
Yes,
So
correct,
do we need
correct.
to focus much on TypeScripts then?
You have to focus on TypeScript and Angular, but mostly people look for full stack. It
Okay.
means if you're a Java developer, right? So they ask you to for Angular. So it means Java also can be done by you, and Angular can also be done by you. Okay. If you are coming from front end background, so they feel like you already know about Express and Node. So they give you that as a backend technology, and Angular you have to develop. So very few people are looking, especially Angular, because
Okay.
some MNCs like Infosys and all, they only look for Angular. They have a dedicated people for Java, because
Yeah.
separate team. So it will be easy to make application development even faster, because
Yeah.
instead of concentration on client, server, everything, so Angular can only concentrate on this person. So that will be easy for us.
Okay.
Naveen garu, after finishing, to what extent we can claim as a full stack developer? మనం full stack అని చెప్పేసుకోవచ్చా మా ట్రైనింగ్ ఆ
చెప్పొచ్చు, మన
లెవెల్లోనే?
బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ లో నోడ్ ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ పెట్టేసి ఫుల్ స్టాక్ అని చెప్పొచ్చు.
ఓకే. అండ్ మెటీరియల్ ఏమైనా ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తారండి మీరు?
ఉంది, నోట్స్ ఉంది, నేను షేర్ చేస్తా.
సో మీరు ఆ పీడిఎఫ్స్ కొంచెం, ఎందుకంటే HTML CSS వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ త్రూ, కానీ ఏంటంటే లాట్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ వాల్యూస్ ఉండడం వల్ల రివిజన్ ఈజ్ క్వైట్ టఫ్
ఓకే
అయిపోతుంది అనమాట
ఓకే,
మాకు.
మీకు కోడ్ కావాలా?
ఇప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు మనకి W3 స్కూల్స్ ఉంది, కానీ ఒక షార్ట్ హ్యాండ్ లో మీరు ఏదైనా పీడిఎఫ్స్ కానీ మీరు ఆల్రెడీ టీచ్ చేశారు కదా లాంగ్
నా
బ్యాక్ షార్ట్
దగ్గర
హ్యాండ్.
ఉంది
మీ
పంపిస్తా.
దగ్గర ఖచ్చితంగా ఉంటాయి. సో
అదేంటంటే ఒక నిమిషం, వర్క్ స్పేస్ డెవలప్మెంట్ నోట్స్, నా దగ్గర నోట్స్ ఉంది, నేను పంపిస్తా. ఇదే.
ఎస్ ఎస్ ఎస్, అలా యాంగులర్ కూడా ప్రొవైడ్ చేయండి.
యాంగులర్ కి సపరేట్ ఉంది, దీనిలో జస్ట్ ఇక్కడ వరకు యాంగులర్ జేఎస్ ఉంటుంది దీనిలో, కానీ యాంగులర్ కి సపరేట్ ఇది. దీనిలో అసలు HTML అంటే ఏంది, సిఎస్ అంటే ఏంది, సెటప్, దీనిలో HTML సోర్స్ కోడ్ తో సహా ఉంటుంది. కొంచెం కిందికి వెళ్తే ఉంటుంది.
అజాక్స్ అవసరం అండి మాకు?
అజాక్స్ అవసరం లేదు, ఎందుకంటే దీనిలో HTTP క్లయింట్ మాడ్యూల్ అని ఒకటి ఉంటుంది, దాంతోనే మనం నేర్చుకోవచ్చు.
ఓకే. ఇది XML HTTP రిక్వెస్ట్ అనేసి ఒకటి ఉంది జావా స్క్రిప్ట్ లో, అది అవసరం లేదు కదా?
అవసరంలా. అది యాంగులర్ లో డిఫరెంట్ గా ఉంటది. సో దాన్ని మనం ప్లెయిన్ కోర్ లాంగ్వేజ్ రాయాల్సిన అవసరంలా,
ఇక్కడ
లైబ్రరీ కాల్ చేస్తే సరిపోతుంది.
ఓకే ఫైన్. అయితే మీరు యాంగులర్ మెటీరియల్ కూడా ఇస్తారు కదా? ఫైన్,
ఇస్తారు, అది సేమ్ ఇట్లనే ఉంటుంది.
ఫైన్, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఓకే, ఎనీ క్వశ్చన్?
Sir, are you able to translate what you just discussed?
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Nothing here. Regarding material, I said much more. It is very tough to remember all the properties and values of CSS and HTML, right? So I asked, are you going to provide any shorthand notes for HTML, CSS, and Angular, or anything like that?
So I told this is the notes, so I'll be sharing with you all. So you can just go through this and you can practice yourself.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Last few minutes, if anybody have some questions, please provide us notes. Yeah, definitely I have notes, I'll share it. Can we make API? Yes, we can. We can make REST API. I tell you what is REST API and how to configure the Express.js. Please cover SQL as well. Yeah, definitely I'll consider this. Okay, along with MongoDB, I also consider SQL, at least MySQL. Okay, interview questions and resume I'll give you in the last. First, we need to know the subject. Okay, definitely I'll share some 4 years experience, 5 years experience resumes I have. I'll share it. Okay, fine. Yeah, okay, all regular questions. Fine. So today this is fine, and this video not uploading to YouTube. Only the paid people can receive it, and those who is not paid, please pay it. Okay, so when you pay, then you get the videos and all, and definitely up to Friday, same link, whatever you have, the paid and unpaid people, the same link what you are joining daily, up to Thursday you can join with the same link. From Friday I'll give you new link, especially for paid people I'll give it. Okay, from there you can continue with the course. Okay, so I hope that's clear, and thank you so much. And
sir, credit card details, sir, for payments.
Sorry, credit card payment details,
Yeah.
I given, no? Okay, One minute. I think I have somewhere. 1 minute. Actually, you can do the credit card with Zoom. I think this one. If you go to Google, you know this Zoom, send money online.
Sorry,
This,
actually I don't know.
this is very simple one. Zoom.com, to whom you have to pay, how much you have to pay. Just select it, and here you have to enter the bank details. Okay,
Okay, sir.
HDFC and all. So I'll give you bank details. You can pay through Zoom. I mean, credit card payment you can do from here. Credit card or net banking, everything you can do from here. So I will give you the details. I think I shared everywhere. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, this is the bank transfer details. You can just enter these details. I'll share you with uh, chat. Yeah, this is bank details. Okay. So just go to this zoom.com and you can select the payment like receive amount how much. You can select some USD. So it should be 6,000. Okay. And then you send it. Or else you have Google Pay.
Yes, sir. Yes. But sir, credit. I think credit by payment not possible. No?
Google Pay you can do this number. Credit card payment you can enter this and do it. Okay, through Zoom.
Okay, sir. Okay.
This you enter and it will do it. Direct payments. Okay, fine. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll meet tomorrow same time. So thank you.